Chapter 25. Caius sees another light. The cage is not in the zoological gardens. Xanthippus stuttered in disbelief. Venetius was alarmed. Claudia grew pale again and clasped her father's hand. Caius stared at Mucius with his mouth hanging open. But Mucius, you yourself heard Udo say Polino sent the cage to the zoological gardens, Xanthippus said. It never got there, Mucius continued, but I know where it is. Claudia, near despair, cried out, Mucius, please, please, where is it? Mucius said, it's on the Egyptian bark. Now I understand everything. When Master Xanthos was talking about Cerberus, the dog of hell, Captain Amon's question to the prefect came back to me. What will become of Cerberus? Also, I remember the big strange box lying under the canvas on the deck. That could only have been a cage. Polino's intention was to flee to Ethiopia without Manilius and Amon guessing what was inside. Ye gods, but I'm glad I sneaked onto that bark. Where is the bark? Tribune Varenus asked. It's just now going down the Tiber toward the harbor at Ostia, Mucius said. Varenus, Venetius said, his eyes shining with determination. A trireme from the war fleet is docked at the harbor near the Forum Boreum. It's one of the fastest patrol boats we've got. We can easily catch the bark before it reaches Ostia. On with it then, the tribune shouted. We'll take Manilius and Amon prisoner and have the cage with the money taken to the emperor's palace. Venetius, Varenus, the two officers, and Turnus hurried to the door. Father, Claudia cried, what will happen to the poor bear? Venetius turned with a laugh and called back. Don't worry, Claudia. I'll see to it that he lands in the zoological gardens where he belongs. Then he disappeared with the others. Oh, what a mess, Julius said, looking confused again. Now what are we going to do with Gorgon, Master Xanthos? He's still in your secret room, tied and gagged. That's right, Xanthippus said, and he scratched behind his ear. That will be taken care of too, Master Xanthos, Tiro said. When my master returns, he'll order a cohort of the Praetorian Guard to take that murderer to Mamertine prison. They'll jail him there in an isolation cell deep in the darkest cellar, and he'll go before a judge next week. Perfect, Xanthippus said. I'll be home in half an hour at the latest and show them the secret room then. Please be careful that the Praetorians don't do anything to Ramesses, Antonius said. I imagine they will be glad if he doesn't do anything to them, Xanthippus said. Claudia was quite moved. Master Xanthos, she said, I'll never forget what all of you have done for us. You can thank my pupils, Xanthippus said with a smile. If they hadn't bought me Udo for a birthday present, we would never have found out where the gold is. The boys gathered around him. Master Xanthos, Mucius said, that was certainly a surprise when you suddenly burst in here like a god coming to the rescue. We thought you had lost all interest. You should certainly know me better than that. By the way, I have another surprise for you. Udo is sitting outside. Udo! The boys all shouted in delight. He came in 5 minutes after you ran off, Xanthippus said. Why did he go back into the catacombs? Caius said. He still had to free the other prisoners. By Hercules, Julius said, panicking again. Udo, so here we are again, sitting around and not knowing what to do with him. That's no problem at all, Xanthippus said. He'll buy him from you. What do you want for him? 500 sesterces, Julius said quickly. Xanthippus frowned. What? I thought you only paid 450 for him. Prices have gone up since yesterday, Julius replied, looking innocent. Xanthippus said, no deal. Unfortunately, my prices have gone up in the meantime, too. Your prices? What prices do you mean? Julius said. Give me a wax tablet and a stylus. Tiro hurried to the next room and brought back the writing material. Xanthippus again began scribbling a column of figures. My price is exactly right, he said, and added, that is to say, you owe me money. With a flicker of a smile crossing his face, he read aloud. A. I put 120 sesterces for a jug of honey. B. 7 sesterces for a new chair because Caius knocked over the old one and broke it. C. 35 sesterces for a new bed sheet. Antonius threw the sword on the bed and ripped it. D. Food and lodgings for a hungry young slave. For decency's sake, I'm charging you only 50 sesterces for that. The faces of all the boys were growing longer than Xanthippus's bill. E. 250 sesterces for my best olive tree, which Ramesses completely ruined by scratching on it, and at that you're getting away cheap. But Ramesses' claws are trimmed, Antonius interrupted him indignantly. That's just it. He kept scratching on it so much they got sharp again, Xanthippus said. Now don't interrupt me again. F. 20 sesterces for a new wash line. The old one was cut in half. G. A big leg of mutton for a much bigger lion. 10 sesterces. And H. 2 coppers for the use of a piece of my best grade chalk for writing names down on a tablet. By Hades, what prices? Julius groaned. Quiet, Xanthippus grumbled, apparently unmoved. Altogether, that makes 505 sesterces and 2 coppers. You want 500 sesterces for Udo? Good. Now you still owe me 5 sesterces and 2 coppers. Xanthippus broke off and looked at his pupils without the hint of a smile. We had to spend 5 sesterces for Udo's new tunic, Publius exclaimed at last, so we owe you only 2 coppers. Hand it over, Xanthippus said. Tiro had been listening with amusement. I don't think that is necessary, he said. My master will assume all outstanding debts with the greatest pleasure. Xanthippus laughed suddenly. Then let him just give the boys their money back, he said. I'm satisfied with the 2 coppers. As for Udo, I have no intention of keeping him. I'll pay for his release from slavery tomorrow so that he can return to his home in Gaul a free man. That's why I brought him with me. He'd like to give you all his warmest goodbyes. Udo, he called, please come in here now. Udo entered and bowed before Claudia. He nodded to each of the boys, smiling. May the gods continue to bless you all, he said. Caius went up to him and placed both of his hands on his shoulders in a gesture of comradeship. Thank you for saving my life, he said. Ah, Xanthippus muttered, smiling in satisfaction. Caius sees another light.